Peace to the family, y'all. Peace, love, and light. What's good? What's good with you? Welcome back to another thought-provoking midday live. All right, today's Thursday. All right. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. We got some amazing things to discuss as always. Yeah. Hopefully, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, you know what I'm saying, you're doing it in peace. You're doing it in a mental, good stuff. Yeah. Hopefully you're doing it in a very sound spiritual place. May you be mentally sound, may you be spiritually sound, and may you be physically sound. Demigod, what does that mean? What does that mean? I just can't be God. You know what I'm talking about? Huh? Nah, they said something about a demigod. Funny enough, I wanted to speak to y'all about a plethora of different things, you know, and we're gonna deep dive into some topics and some subjects. I just want to send an invite to somebody real quick. All right. Before I jump into boom, let me send this invite. Oh, I'm gonna get it in. I have a very interesting dialogue and presentation to present to you today, this afternoon. Whew. The world is an interesting place. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's nothing like perspective. You know, I thank the Most High for perspective more so than anything. Because with perspective, then you could develop discernment, and with perspective, you could also develop objectives. You know what I'm saying? But there's such a wide array of news, a plethora of topics, and with perspective, I'm blessed with the opportunity to be able to weave some of these topics together. You know what I'm saying, to make a general consensus make sense. So I don't wake up just thinking that the world is just so scatterbrained, you know, like like we may be led to be. You know what I'm saying? If we are trying to catch everything that they throw at us, there's so much that you like, damn, where do I start? You feel me? So perspective helps you put things in perspective, and when you could put things in perspective, you can kind of like you know, what's the word that I'm looking for? When you put things in perspective, you could categorize and yeah, that's a good explanation. Containing the chaos, putting things in perspective is containing the chaos. You feel me? Because once things have peace,
Hey,
hey,
I'm
moment,
getting my nails done. I'm getting ready for Sunday.
absolutely.
I
Look,
have to,
let me
yeah,
finish. We're gonna segue right into that. So put things into context or put things into perspectives helps you contain the chaos. You feel me? And then once you can contain the chaos, you can almost overlord over it. You know what I'm saying? This concept I talk about being a silver surfer, riding the wave and making sure that you're not being washed up by it.
yeah.
What I'm saying? Peace, Hakeem.
Hakeem
So
is gonna be here.
what you do is masterful, right? In being able
Someone
to,
said no sound, Blue. I could hear you though.
you can hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Family, if you can hear me, okay, it
Yeah.
says sound is
Oh,
fine. I will ask
okay.
the individual to refresh their page. What
Yeah.
you do, what you have the uncanny ability to do, bar none, is you pull a lot of pieces together. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
your ability to pull these pieces together, right, gives you the ability to create moments, events, and spectacles that I don't see anywhere on the planet.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, thank you.
So that is a testament to, once again, your ability to control the quote unquote chaos,
Hmm.
right? And in
Hmm.
our lives is so much noise, is so many things that people are attempting to even tell us about ourselves.
Oh, thank you.
When you get in front of that conversation and you become, the subject matter expert on self,
Mm,
then you controlling the chaos.
thank you.
So I just want you to give us a very brief overview about how you unconsciously go about doing that, because I don't even think that you understand that that's what you do.
You know what's so deep, right? I was talking to Rhyme Fest, the rapper Rhyme Fest,
Absolutely, yes,
and
extraordinary.
because he was really trying to get here for Sunday's
Okay,
Revolutionary Healing,
okay.
and it's so crazy. I met him years ago,
Hmm.
and he from Chicago, South Side Chicago, and he hasn't traveled yet at that moment when I met him. And I
Hmm.
spoke to him the other day, and he was like, Queen, he said that the things that you have been telling me about all indigenous people of the world, and how you were so talking about the similarities more than our differences, that we have to look at our similarities more than our differences.
Yes.
He said, I now get what you're talking about. He said, I've been to Peru, I've been to various parts of Asia. He's
Okay.
like, and he's been going down to various parts of South America, Africa. He's been doing not these type of plant medicine retreats, but really getting with the indigenous people, of these shamans, these medicine people that don't
Right.
don't say give me $5,000 to give you ayahuasca. These are people that are like, no, come and spend time with us and learn and things like that. So he's been doing all of this, and he was like, sis, I now get
Right.
how it's been easy for you. And I think the thing is that for me, because I'm Black and Native American and raised by a Native American mother and out of a womb of a Lakota mother, and then my mother just constantly had me around beautiful Black matriarch women to be my mentors and all of that around, and as well as Black men. I think the thing is that she showed me to see our similarities more than our differences. And so this weekend, our theme for the Revolutionary Healing, first off, I want to just say, Blue Pill, thank you for being there from the beginning.
Um,
Thank you and you about to put me in the tears. I have no makeup on, so
not
I can
about
go. Thank you for being there as a brother to me from the beginning. When I first got the diagnosis of having lung cancer, and how you was like, Keith, I'm going to help you build this sweat. You built that first inipi, that first sweat, and was right there, and being his brother, being my brother as well, when no other men was around. It was you that was there. And I thank you for that, and that is frontline work too, is healing. That healing work is frontline activism as well. So thank you for being on the front line with us from the beginning of, and then it birthed into Revolutionary Healing, where we're at now. And this is our third Sunday Friendsgiving festival, you know,
yeah.
and you and your brother Red Pill are going to be there. And
Yes.
and this theme this year is friendships of all walks of life. And I watched the Wakanda Forever movie, and when I was like, we're gonna see Wakanda in flesh this Sunday. And what I mean by that is that we have the Mayan Aztec people that is going to come and for the opening. So make sure you're there at noon.
What?
We're having a special opening. We have people from the Hindu community. We have people from the Zulu tribe and from the South, because see, Africa is a huge continent. So I wanted to try to get as many tribal representation from Africa as possible. So we have the Zulu, we have the West African, that is coming. We have
Yeah.
Native Americans coming from all across this nation. I'm picking up an elder tonight, Raymond Kingfisher. We have hip hop. We got, we even
Yeah,
have,
shout out to Hakeem. I see my brother
yeah,
in here.
shout out to Hakeem Green. He's
Yeah.
going to be from the infamous Channel Live. He's going to be performing this
Yes. Yes.
Sunday, and who is also another brother of mine. Man, Hakeem, that's my
Bro.
twin right there.
Yeah.
Because he's a connector too. And I think that to answer your question, um, when you are a connector, you attract other connectors. So all of the people that has been coming to revolutionary healing has also been like wanting to connect. And that's really what this work is about. This healing work, is about how do we connect with one another with our A alike, B alike, we C alike. You know what I'm
Shout out,
saying?
shout out King Simon. That's another connector in our community.
Yes.
The promoters, you know what I'm saying? The organizers, the activists, they are all naturally connectors. They can corral the people together. They know where the people are at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are people, who, like you said, more than likely are on the front line, have their ear to the ground. You know what I'm saying? Have good reputation. People know who they are. You know what they stand for, and that's magnetic within itself. So when
Yeah.
you put the call out, people are able to come together. You know what I'm saying? And I had never seen you do anything publicly, other than in the spirit of peace, you know what I'm saying, in the spirit of unity, in the spirit of forwardness. You feel me? So, it's only but so many people that can pull these things off.
Yeah, it was something that I feel that we need. Is that clear? That's the clear kind. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting my nails done. But I felt that we need that, especially I even feel like sometimes in the conscious community we need sometimes we talk amongst each other with things that we already know, and it's
Preach to the
important
choir. Right.
and it's important that we diversify and we get our youth that's from the hood, the barrio, the res. We get adults that's from various
Um,
communities. You know what I'm saying? So we
yeah,
are able to still learn from one another.
I want to share with you something real quick.
Yeah.
I think it was 2015. I was being invited to the UN by a elder named um, Queen Mother Moore Maribel.
Mm,
She's the prototype that they used for Sister Act. She used to be a
mm.
nun and all of that. So
Wow.
Queen Mother Moore was the prototype for Sister Act, right?
Yeah.
She has been a reparation advocate forever, for over 40 something years in the UN.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And when they go, all of the dignitaries, all of the heads of state know her. She's a big wig on 44th Street over at the UN. So
Mm-hmm.
she was bringing me and my brother there, consistently
Yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
involved with her organization.
I'm listening.
They
Mm-hmm.
want to head
Regular.
like a global
Inside.
Thank you.
like newspaper.
Uh-huh.
So when we met with the African delegates, they was like, yeah, Sister Blakely. They was
Sister
like,
Blakely. Dolores Blakely. Mm-hmm.
yeah, they said we know who you are. They said we've seen you on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what you have to understand is that the world is bigger than 125th Street.
Lại làm cái tiêu gì mình
Right?
nhổ.
What y'all talking about? So they was telling me, they said, if you come under the cover of hip, they said hip hop is a global, and it was like, we want you to know about Senegalese youth. We want you to know about youth in Mexico. We want you to know about. There's like people are rapping everywhere on the planet. And if you just focus on hip hop, they was like, then you can everybody protest because not, maybe not ragged. They was like, this is their this is their protest. It was like you'll hear what everybody in say hip hop.
I'm trying to hear you. Hold on.
Yeah.
You said under the scope of hip hop. Okay, I don't have my headset in either. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, they said under the scope of hip hop, we to hear stories around the world because they all utilize the vehicle of hip hop to express themselves as protest music.
Mm.
So they wanted me to broaden my horizon, um, to say that everybody who your situation is unique to you.
Your thing is going in and out. You probably gotta
Go
go
ahead.
back where you was at.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, they were saying that
Oh,
situation.
it says, oh, I may need to mute. Hold on.
Yeah,
I'm listening. Okay, go ahead.
they said that our situation is not unique onto itself. They said that you know, people around the planet, everybody's going through oppression. Everybody is everyone has their own version of the colonizer who, you know, who they're going up against, whatever they're going up against. So they said, broaden your message, right? To bring more people in, you know what I'm saying? And also that you want to humanize this ability to see people beyond, you know, your people, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? And they like, look, if we going through what y'all going through, then we all people, we're unified in struggle. That's why I'm very, very, very clear and concise. I don't got no beef with none of my people. If you are anything indigenous, even if there was something, an infraction that was done, because some people was turncoats, we could talk about that and we could situate it. But the colonizer is on for life. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there, you know, there's a level of arrogance, there's a level of, you know what I'm saying, destruction that has been brought about on this planet that you cannot necessarily scale back. And these people are being arrogant in their destruction. They're being pompous, you know what I'm saying, in their inequities. So there's really nothing, because we know, you know, you can't wrestle back respect from a people who took it from you in blood. You can't do it with a hug. So I don't, you know, my issues is not with my people. I don't have no issues with no native. I don't have no issues with indigenous. I don't have issues with people from the Hispanic Latinx community, the brown community. You know what I'm saying? I don't have issues with Muslims. I don't have issues with Hindus. I don't have issues with none of my people who ascribe to an indigenous way of life to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Even if I have my own reservations about religious and doctrines and things of that nature, um, we never really focus on our mutual adversary. We never get that conversation. We always got to go through so many layers, you know what I'm saying, until we get to the thing that matters the most. And we are a beautiful people. We are a culturally beautiful people. And my heart continues to hurt, you know, the more information that I learn, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the more incensed I become with the violation. Because I'm like, these people were high society. These people were high society. And the more research that I'm doing, they say that the way that you tell high society is through arts and science, right? And architecture. These people achieved, you know what I'm saying, the pinnacle points of architecture. We stood to learn so much on this planet. So I be in my feelings because we in the dark ages by the shit that the church has done, by the thing that the colonizer has done. They don't want to apologize. They don't want to atone for their sins. They don't want to acknowledge that they set us back. They don't want to give back what they've taken. They don't want to get out the way. They want to be pompous. You know what I'm saying? They wanna snub their nose. They wanna tell you that you crazy. You know, so if nothing else, like, and then when I went and sat with the Lakota in Mount Shasta in 20, this was 2015 as well, and I had to sit through a peyote ceremony from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. I told you the story. We were sitting for Standing Rock, you know, possibly when you were out there. And individuals that was in that tent said that my children went to Standing Rock to die, but I'm sitting in this tent with you guys that I just met out of respect because we're not familiar with your nation. You never sat in ceremony with us. We only know what we know about y'all from TV. They was calling me Snoop Dogg, and I didn't take offense to it. You know what I'm saying? Because when after we sat and we got out of there at 9 a.m., they passed around. You got to eat some of the buffalo and the corn and that, and I participated in ceremony and got out of my own way, other than being like, "No, I'm a vegan. I don't do that." It's like, no, honor people, honor their tradition. You know, don't dishonor yourself, but it's not gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? And the mutual respect that came after that, you know, the outpouring of tears and the outpouring of love. And I'm like, you know, there's things that we do have to go through to gain one another's respect as a people, because we've been lied to just like they've been lied to, right? We're all running off of a lie, but they just want to see what you built up. They just want to see, you know what I'm saying, that you can honor these ways. So
And that's what you did with Keys. You know, Keys,
yeah,
Pawnee, Seminole, you just came on the humble and was like, you know, you all have a mutual person, which was me and my healing. And you guys both
yeah,
was like, you know what, let's help our sister. And that was your intentions, you know.
yeah.
And from that, you know, Keys learned a lot from you, you know, and you learned a lot from him. And now he's like, Blue is my brother. You know, he's like, you know, and that's really what it boils down to. I think that, you know, even when you go to the South or go anywhere in the Black community, you know, when you go to elders' homes, they're like, just come and visit, just come and have coffee with me, you know. So let's get to know each other. Let's break bread, you know. Come and sit on the porch with me or come and help me, you know. It's the same thing when we go into other communities or nationalities or cultures, you know. It's just basically come and visit. Let's see what we have in common, you know. And I
So
think that that's the thing that we need. That's what revolutionary healing is about. It's like, you know, come and let's heal together. Let's break bread together. Let's sing some songs and do some yoga and, you know, and whatever, perform whatever. And that's really what it all boils down to.
another traditions. Let's learn ways. Let me acknowledge your ways, because I've been overexposed to Westernism long enough to know that, you know, I'm in a detriment of disease. You know, I have so much healing to do for my overexposure to Westernism. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be so quick to be like, nah, I ain't, you know, I'm not even willing to see what that entails. Like, I volunteered my life and my health for Westernism for 40 plus years, knowing that it was killing me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I should not be running, you know what I'm saying, from people in their traditional indigenous ways, especially if this is what we're on the forefront fighting for. You know what I'm saying? Not only to return to these ways, but for these ways to be respected, for these ways to be able to coexist, you know what I'm saying, in a cosmopolitan setting. Like when the Moors was in Europe, the Jew were able to do as the Jew did. The Christians was able to live as the Christians did, and then they practiced Islam. You know, the Moors did. So they didn't change anything. They allowed people to be themselves. Our ways have been destroyed, denuded, disrespected, and desecrated.
Right.
We,
Can you pin my comment?
huh?
Can you pin my comment?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm listening.
yeah. So
It won't be live streamed. You have to come in person. That's the only way you could get this experience. It's here in Atlanta, Georgia, this Sunday. You have to come on down. Come on down, Mecadonna. Come
yeah,
down.
yeah.
And then for someone that said, they said a Thanksgiving trigger. Yes, it is. That's why we teach the real Thanksgiving and we give that history. And it's a Friendsgiving. It's a family day. You know, this is something for all of us to be able to do. It's November 20th. It's before that day.
It's November 20th. I'll post a flyer. There is a link, like right there, Revolutionary Healing, or you could go to her page. You'll be able to go to my page and see the details. This is the third annual. The other ones have been epic and triumphant. We were doing them, the ones prior, we were doing them in Fairburn on a farm of a member of the Nation of Islam. His brother had a beautiful farm with the horses. We would go by the lake and do. I was doing my workshops down by the lake. We were grounding in the water. We was tapping into the elements. We was getting our breathing, synchronizing our breathing as a collective, as a people. You know, there was a lot of manifestation. There was a lot of beauty, performances, vendors, and just high vibrational energy. Once again, for you to observe people's culture and ask the questions that you want to ask, so we can get past prejudices. We could get past, once again, the fact that, you know, I've been operating off of what I think that I know about other people's culture told to me by the colonizer, knowing damn well, right, that he done put a whole bunch of cut in it. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I invite you to get to know one another. You know what I'm saying? Like this concept, even the theory or the, you know, what they built this whole concept around Thanksgiving was even about. You know, this was a cultural exchange. These were two different quote unquote societies intermingling and getting to know one another. Now, our indigenous brothers and sisters stepped up to help the colonizer, you know what I'm saying, when he was at his weakest, you know,
And to provide to teach them how to be able to make it's the Wampanoag people, you know, from Massachusetts. They taught them how to be able to survive on the land and how to be able to grow crops and all of that, you know. And I think the number one thing that I never liked is the fact that you know, was the fact that they're like, oh, they exterminated all the Native Americans. No, they didn't. We're still here. We're still here, and that's the beautiful part is, you know, for this Revolutionary Healing Friendsgiving is to be able to meet the people that are still here. We're all still here practicing our, you know, speaking our language, you know, practicing our culture, and to have those questions. You know, I like that someone is from Hawaii on here. Hawaii, the people in Hawaii. Man, they're really dealing with a lot down there. So shout out to
yeah.
aloha to mahalo to the people of Hawaii, you know, that's on here.
Oh,
Yeah, I was trying to get their representation. Hopefully next year I'll be able to get more. You know, I'm really, I pay for this out of my pocket. I am still looking for sponsorships and vendors. We have over 35 vendors. So shout out to all of the vendors that is coming is from all the different foods and business owners from all around the diaspora and from the world. We have Mexican, we have Caribbean, African, you know, we have everything that is vendors. So make sure you guys, it's a free event, you know, but make sure you bring your check your money because we want to be able to patronize all the vendors. And Blue Pill, you'll be out there, you know, with all of your amazing products that you have as well. And I'm so happy that you and your brother are performing and
yeah,
also doing a workshop. I didn't even know y'all rapped. And I was like, what? You guys are so dope. You guys got to perform. So I'm excited. I'm going to be front and center, you know,
yeah.
shimmering with all of my sequin stuff on. And
You performing and hitting the stage, and you know,
yeah.
highlight. You know, I love doing that. You know what I'm saying? And then seeing the dope performances as well. You know what I mean? Seeing the other performers hit the stage and do their thing. You know, I look forward to it all. The whole energy and the atmosphere of what the Friendsgiving represents, I look forward to it. It puts a smile on my face. You know what I'm saying? I know that is going to be a very conscientious cultural exchange, and this is needed. This is necessary, you know, at this time, you know, in our story, especially what we've been going through as a people dealing with identity politics. You feel me? You have every right to self-determination as a people. You know what I'm saying? There are UN declarations to say that you have a right to your nationality. Can't nobody tell you who you are and what you are. You know, again, no disrespect, but this is a transgender week or month, I believe. You know, and if there's legislation that's passed, if there's societal norms that are telling us that we have to identify a particular people, again, this is no disrespect. I'm just using the parallels to say you have the same right to self-determination. If you want to walk around this motherfucker and say that you polka dot, you have a right to do that, right? So do not allow anybody to deny you the dignity of your humanity because they have not done the research or they have something to hide or they're insecure. You feel me? Do not allow anybody to denude you, you know what I'm saying, from rooting yourself into your foundational existence. You understand? So it's very, very important. And then you should be able to see the thing. You should be able to see the ways in which of the people who you identify with. Once again, because a lot of our people here are identifying themselves as indigenous, are identifying themselves to say, I didn't come here on a boat. I was already here. To those people, again, I would say, get in contact with your customs and your traditions, because when it all comes down to it, you can't be that in name alone. These are about the participation of culture. You have to become an altar for your ancestors. You know what I'm saying? And the way that you do that is you follow the ways of your mothers and your fathers, so your days should be long. So you have to be doing these things. You just can't be talking about it. You feel me?
Yeah, and that's why I felt like it was needed, and that's why another reason why I felt like you and your brother, needed to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact of those that are following you all and supporting you all as well, and you all are pillars on a national scale. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh man, I wanted to be able to try to diversify the community. Huh?
International.
International scale. Yes, that's right. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys are always involved, because it's important that we have that diversity, and to be able to get the knowledge from all of it, from each other. That's really important that we do that. I'm not going to keep you long. I know you said you got a lot to vent on.
Not
Is it Mars in retrograde? Is that what's happening, Blue Pill? Is it Mars in retrograde? Is
Mars is,
that
yes,
is that's why you're just like the world is it's a lot going on in the world right now.
it is.
Like, it's a lot, and this is why this is especially now with this month. I just saw so many symbolisms with the Black Panther, and then Trump's saying that he's going to. I mean, it's just so many different of symbolism that I don't want to get deep into it all, but I
Before you
was
get,
just all like,
ask you before you um,
mm-hmm.
disengaged or hung up. I was going to ask, because again, there was a lot taking place in the months of October and November, and it impacted people differently. You know what I'm saying? From your purview, because initially when this conversation started, it involved people who, you are in association with, that you're in friends with, you know what I'm saying? And so it got personal as well. So as the conversation has progressed, as things has moved forward, and we saw a lot more ugliness come and rear its head, from different sectors of our society. What was your observation? How did you summarize it?
Ooh, it hurt with the division of our own people, of how everyone thinks, and how but what, the number one thing that I looked at was how how we're a tool for social media. We're a tool. We're being used as a tool on this device right here. And
And
huh?
the data analytics.
Yes. And
Mhm.
we're falling for it. We're reposting information where we get triggered, and we're allowing this device to use us to dictate our emotions. And it's dividing up our families, and it's dividing up our friends, and it's dividing us up as a people. And that's what I got for the past from October, and for the month of October. And someone said, we're the battery. You're absolutely right. We are being used. And it's scary because we think we're so conscious. We think we know. But all of us, even the ones that are the consciousness of conscious on these social media platforms, are they were being used as a tool to regurgitate information that wasn't true, that wasn't all the way factual, and then swaying and moving us as sheep. I think everyone needs to go back to the basics. I used to have it in my backpack. Remember back in the day when we used to have a backpack, when
Yeah.
with books.
Yeah.
We need to go back to Behold a Pale Horse, reread it,
Right.
and look at it in the sense of 2022. You know, and because but the thing is that we are being used as tools to continue to push their agenda. And we're using this device right here, and it's dividing us. So that's the reason why all of our emotions are high. We're having anxiety. I never thought that I would have anxiety to the level of anxiety in the past month just by turning on Instagram and looking at my news feed and looking at my peers, my brothers and my sisters, just letting this device and the information move their ego, pushing their ego like they're like almighty everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, and then pushing our people that is watching this, watching us right now to push and sway their thinking to another way of thinking that's not unity. We have to unite. We cannot let, we cannot be divided. We have to unite. And we're in a time where our unity is key. We are about to see this man become president again. And then on top, I really feel that he's going to be. We are not. And I fought Trump left and right, like literally. Like that man tweeted about an event that I did. You know what I'm saying? And when it went viral, like I was attacked by him personally. You know what I'm saying? With the Indigenous Peoples March. So the thing is, is that you know, but even past that, our unity is so key. We're going through a major financial crisis. We're going through a major housing crisis. Our people are being divided by classism. And so all of these things that's happening in the world, this thing right here is dividing us.
Yeah.
And this is why revolutionary healing is important. Like in-person contact events, in-person meetings, build sessions. Remember when we used to be on the corner just building? Yo, let me tell you, so
Like,
for this, right, you and your brother was on 125th building, connecting. I feel that we need to get back to that as a balance. And when I had these flyers pushing for revolutionary healing, I had more fun going into the community, passing out flyers, building with people, saying, come on down. And I was like, that's what's missing is human contact. Human contact doesn't have your anxiety on 100 and you're just triggered in emotions, and you know what I'm saying? Just common human contact. We need to get back to that.
yeah, I love that. That's why, we stay outside. I always want to see people because I'm from New York and because I come from, that is my backdrop and background, to do the corner ciphers and to be on the block. You know what I'm saying? I always got to see people. I got to touch people. And I people watch, I observe, I ask questions, you know what I'm saying? And when the opportunity presents itself, we break out into a cipher. I wanted to ask you something. This is a very poignant question. Think about it. How possible is unity in our community in the presence of politics? Is politics obscuring our ability to see one another for who and what we are? Is politics another layer that's getting between us as a people? You feel me? Like when I wake up and I look in a melanated face, I see beauty. You know what I'm saying? I see potential. I see history. You know what I'm saying? And I also see the future. I don't really get around to sexual orientation or political affiliation until, further down the conversation. That's not what I see first, but people are wearing their politics as their identity, as their political affiliation has now become their self-identifying marker, and that is creating a lot of confusion as well. You know what I'm saying? How do we get around that in your observation?
I had to take you off of mute. um I think that's always been a fight within our community, is that we always was battling with politics in our community. And there's an old saying that is like, if you ever want to be able to get people together, don't talk about religion and don't talk about politics, and then from there you may work your way up. You know what I'm saying? I think that, but you know, we're in a time, even with that, you know, it's this group that came out, this media company, they came out of here from Germany, and they did a documentary. Yeah, hold on for 1 second. All right, this one, this one, this one, this one. There's four on you know, 2 on each finger.
How you open?
Yep, just like that. I'm sorry, y'all. Shout out to Teton Nail Art. They're Native American designers.
Oh,
Native American designer nails. So I'm getting this Native American design from my tribe. A
okay.
design nail art. Yeah, so he's grabbing it out. Yep, he just pull it out. So, so I was telling them, yep, I was telling,
This one.
yep, thank you so much. So I was telling them that both parties, the leadership one is sleeping and falling off of bikes. the other one is he's a dictator. You know what I'm saying? And he's just I don't know what he on. You know. Then all of the ones that are local on both parties, a lot of them are just it's
It's
oh yep you just
inside, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
One
I'm so
here,
sorry.
one here.
Yep. And so I think that the thing is that we are in the government as a whole they're in a major, like, we might lose both parties. They're really in they're both trying to find who is going to be that token leader, because there's no one that is connecting to the community and to the people. There's no one. All of the politicians on a state level and on a federal level are not connecting to us as who we are as humans, you know.
Um,
What from there?
you know, that's a good question, and that's a good observation. If politics itself has become an institution that puts profit over people, like else that we have observed in the last 2 years, you know what I'm saying, about institutions, corporations, business in particular, they put profit over people. If government is there to, one, regulate that, or two, exasperate it or promote it, right? Because they this is what government is in place to spread capitalism, you know, not so much democracy. Democracy is a tool or Trojan horse to bring in capitalism globally. So if they've already prioritized profits over people, then that's not an institution that even looks at you as a human, because in the eyes of in the legal system, I don't even say in the eyes of law, because it's not lawful, it's legal. They're dealing with commercial codes anyway. So you're already looked at as a non-person. And then even when you go and do the definition, the legal definition of persons, it says monsters. You would be surprised what these people really have typecast you as. So does politics and religion obscure spirituality altogether? You on mute. Are they paying your nails? You can... All right, so they can't.
They're under the thing, the jail thing.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. You know, and I feel that for this upcoming, for 20 in the next 2 years, we're not going to feel and see anyone, unless it's one of us. Like, seriously, we really going to have to push one of us that are connected to people, that is grassroots and all of that. We really are going to be in a crazy, crazy, crazy political war for in the next 2 years.
Uh,
Because I don't know if you saw the last Saturday Night Live, but they made a joke about the Democrats about what's his name, Cardi B, and what's the Takashi being president. I'm running for president.
did that?
Yes, they did. They said that they was like, it was a joke that the Democrats are fishing on who's going to be running for president. So they had Cardi B, Takashi, and I forgot, it was like 4 other people. But that's really where it's at. is like trying to fish like who is it going to be that's relatable to the people. And
Yeah,
even though it's a joke, it's very real.
it's very real. Because the tapestry of politics has been changed, because of Trump, and even, his approach to selecting the midterm candidates for the Republican Party. He was selecting fringe candidates, but also people based on popularity. So, the lady Lake out in Arizona that was running for governor, her her only calling card was that she was media savvy. So it's no longer about politics. It's the politics of populists, meaning that if you could get a population to vote for you based on personality, then you can sit in that seat. Hence the fact that the Republicans are even running Herschel Walker. He's not a politician, right? He's a celebrity, and he's quote unquote likable amongst a demographic that says that's a good nigga. You know what I'm saying? He's entertained us all this time, and he's obviously behind closed doors showed them that he can be bucked. And they like, yeah, that's what we like. We're gonna run with that. So, like you said, the Republicans already have their issues. They got people that are qualified to give Trump, a contest. The Democrats don't have no one. So I'm predicting that in Westmore, he just got in Maryland. This is a melanated brother that's 44 years old. It's the first black governor of Maryland. I think that it's too soon for him to run. They said that Nancy Pelosi just stepped down. I didn't see that news verified, but they're looking to replace her with Hakeem Jeffries, who's a Democrat brother out of New York. I remember that brother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's celebrity based. So
It's celebrity based, and that's
and,
exactly and that's
and Obama.
yeah, it's a
And,
problem. Yeah.
yeah, the first ticket before Oprah got in trouble, they was, if you run an Obama, a Michelle, and Oprah ticket just based on popularity, because politics is about polling, y'all, and polling is about personality. People poll for you because they like you, not necessarily. Not everybody is voting due to their quote unquote interests. The Republicans are saying that they're attempting to establish, this voting record where people vote on particular interests. And that's why they go around the country with talking points. And they have these nationalistic, conferences where they're just telling people, what these Christian values, right? They're voting on their values. Hence the fact that election night was on the Taurus moon, that the Taurus is all about values. So they're saying we want to restore and bring this country back to Christian values, quote unquote. So yeah, like politics, man. Politics is something else. And I study global politics. I study the way that geopolitics work, around this entire planet, the rise of nationalism, the rise of extremism. You know, I keep telling people, I'm like, Netanyahu will be back for a third term. They're going to make anti-Semitism a global threat. And they're going to tell you that we will breach your borders. If we consider you a threat, we're going to take you out wherever you are, because they have a global license. They Israel. So we're, there's so much going on that people don't understand the wider ramifications of what these people are attempting, again, through politics. Politics as a global institution said that their number one enemy is wokeism. Now, I would want to have a closed door meeting with, the people who come under that particular label, whether they know it or not. So BLM, Democratic activists, people that are on the front line, yeah, they have been typecast globally for extermination and elimination. I don't know why they feel more threatened by wokeism than they do liberalism, but they've declared war on wokeism globally.
That's why I'm saying that like that personal connection, getting back in the community is important, as well, because of what I was saying about the what we saw. And ooh, that's so deep that you said wokeism is a threat, because what we saw, that question back of what you said, what did I see in October of the vision, and how this social media, this platform is being used as we're being used as a tool against each other on wokeism.
Oh yes, yeah, this was about them creating data analytics so they could
Yes,
find out.
exactly. So
And
if
then they,
we don't get off, if we don't start, huh?
people, they're baiting wokeism so they can tell them who's the conscious folk. That's what the
Yep, and that's why we have to have a balance of going back in our community, doing these gatherings, coming together as well. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go right there. Some in on that point, and I'll see everyone November 20th. Um,
that's right.
Revolutionary.
Revolutionary healing is going down this Sunday. It's going to be monumental, the biggest ever, right? And at the right time, it's necessary, it's needed. We all need to hit the reset. You feel me? And get back to our ways as a people. Y'all went and gave Disney all that money for Hollywood entertainment of what spirituality and consciousness looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, let's formulate the real Wakanda on the land of Wakan, you know? And I'm gonna need you, yeah, I'm gonna really need you to go into the Wakan as well. You know, not today, but at some point, as a Lakota, I want you to speak to that concept so we can build this bridge and show that there's commonality, not only in terminology, you feel me, but how we understand spirit. And how we understand spirit is not how they understand spirit. Right? Okay, so she out. Nonetheless, let me jump right into this where we left off at. Right? And okay, well, let's go here, right? Because she mentioned it, she spoke about it. This is giving us the first example. You know, this is not so much well, this is a war on spirituality, and they lump wokeism into that, right? So now they're typecasting these spiritual indigenous ways as they've been introduced to Westernism. So every time something indigenous comes up against Westernism, right, or the Western world, because Western world represents Americanism, Americanism is never going to bow to anything that's indigenous or outside of America. You feel me? They're saying that you got to break yourself. If you come here, you know what I'm saying? We're going to break this down, and we have to understand it and observe it through an American lens, right? Because that's the way that they're going to observe everything and analyze it. So let's look at the latest research that they have unveiled dealing with ayahuasca, who, yes, they're blaming ayahuasca for Aaron Rodgers' poor performance, as if ayahuasca has anything to do with that, right? So see how they have found themselves minding business that's not even theirs. Okay, they ain't got nothing to do with this modality, but yet here they want to be the authoritative force on it to say what's yeah, what's a go and what's not. Right, so they found 70% experienced uh nausea, right, after taking ayahuasca. Nigga, that's what happens. It's called purging and cleaning. So what are they talking about? But a small number suffered severe physical harm. 2% suffered seizures, 1% went into respiratory arrest, and another 1% went into cardiac arrest. So 1% out of 100. And their test subjects, the majority of their test subjects, as we can see, is going to be Europeans. Feel me? Many experienced users of ayahuasca will see these side effects as part of the healing experience, but researchers are concerned that many will not, as the brew becomes an increasingly popular alternative to traditional medicine or medication. The authors write, many are turning to ayahuasca due to disenchantment with conventional Western medical health treatments. However, the disruptive power, right, of this medicine, of this plant medicine, should not be underestimated. The destructive or disruptive, all right, so what does it disrupt? It disrupts the illusion, right? But the Western medicine and the Western society is contingent upon the illusion. So they're like, oh, this is disrupting the illusion. A person might be having a seizure because they're so shook up by being introduced to the truth like this, that they're like, oh shit, the Matrix. Yeah, they don't even have the God molecule. They don't have the spirit molecule to even be properly ingesting this stuff like that. However, the disruptive power of this traditional medicine should not be underestimated, commonly resulting in mental health or emotional challenges during assimilation. You can't let go of the bullshit. You want to hold on. Ayahuasca is not going to allow you to hold on, and you're going to have an issue during assimilation. While these are usually transitory and seen as part of the beneficial growth process, risks are greater for vulnerable individuals or when used in unsupportive contexts. Yes, you're not supposed to be utilizing ayahuasca without the support system. Set and setting is everything dealing with plant medicine. So what is set and what is setting? Mindset is set. The setting is the environment that you do it in, right? And it also setting is do you have an administrator there? Do you have someone who is sober, who is not necessarily going under with this plant medicine? Because this plant medicine is going to inhabit, you're gonna be incapacitated for making rational decisions, right? Because you're not no longer part of this physical realm. You're somewhere in between. So you have to have somebody there that's trusted, that knows, right? Oh, that person is just going through an episode, dealing with their shadow self. I don't have to necessarily intercede because the things that they're going through are going to be very much traumatic or very much heightened or very much involved, or, and every ceremony, every sitting is not the same for everyone. So yes, the mindset, the setting and the set, right? What are you going into this? You have any expectations? Did you do the proper preparation in terms of the diet and the refraining from different substances, right? I tell people, look, you should refrain from alcohol for 48 hours at least, and you want to eat light. You want to only take liquids. You know what I'm saying? Even if you can disengage from sexual relations at least for 24 hours, you might want to do that so your energy is your own. Got it? Okay. Right? And they did, yes. So when using an unsupportive context, absolutely, you're not supposed to do this alone, right? Ayahuasca is a drink made by boiling together vine stems along with leaves from a chacruna shrub, both native to the Amazonia region. Because the effects are quite extreme, Westerners who take ayahuasca usually do so in ceremonies led by shamans, which have been covered in Netflix shows such as Unwell. The drink has also been blamed for the struggles of Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, with his team having lost 5 games in a row this season. How convenient. Um, Funny enough, why have they never went around and said, "Oh, we blame the jab for this other person's poor performances"? How are you going to tie somebody's poor performance to therapeutic plant medicine? How unfair is that? You know, what is the conclusive evidence that leads to that, to say that dude is playing, you know what I'm saying, under his desired ability to show up because he participated in plant medicine how long ago? Right? Miley Cyrus said she loved the drug. That's where they wrong, right? Miley Cyrus said that she loved the drug and started seeing snakes immediately. In an interview with magazine Rolling Stone in 2020, Joe Rogan is a big proponent of DMT, the activating ingredient used in ayahuasca, right? So now that it's become mainstream amongst white America, right, or dominant society, as Tyreek used the term, you know, now they're putting up all of these safeguards to tell, once again, their fragile community and their society, that if you go and do this thing with these indigenous folks who are not Europeans, you're doing it at your own risk, and it's going to shadow the illusion of the matrix, right? You might really come into contact with who you are. Warning, right? Miley Cyrus, she started seeing snakes. I bet she did. I was about to say. I bet she did. You could tell a lot about a person by their right? Ayahuasca. Yeah, you could tell a lot about a person based on their, you know, what comes to the forefront in their ayahuasca trip. So they want to demonize it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with snakes, right? I'm a red electric serpent. 7 in 10 people who took ayahuasca said they had a physical side effect. Duh. The most common was vomiting, duh. But this is considered normal with the drink and part of cleansing. Yeah, nigga, y'all need to get with the program and stop castigating, once again, things that you don't understand. I'll take some orange juice. Thank you. Mental side effects of drinking ayahuasca, vomiting. Nigga, that's the goals. You want to purge. You want to get clean is what they call it. Me, I did not vomit on any of my ayahuasca sessions, and I feel like I'm incomplete. I'm like, damn, I ain't get it. I need to go back and get it some more. Yeah, I'm concerned because I didn't. They're concerned because people are. Like, that's the statistics. It's supposed to be like 8 out of 10. So they need to make their shit stronger. Research into psychedelics for therapeutic purposes are booming. Drugs that have long been stigmatized, such as ketamine and MDMA, are now being investigated for their effectiveness in treating severe depression and PSTD. Yeah, I ain't gonna get into that. But I will say that at Goldwater, you know, our utilization of medicinal mushrooms, in particular lion's mane, has given us amazing breakthroughs and testimonials from people who have been dealing with severe depression, right? And they're not going to the pharmaceutical industry anymore to get relief. They cannot keep up with the production of Adderall, right? The demand is outstripping the supply. The demand is outstripping the supply. We're going to talk about some of these things, right? Goldwater. Yeah, go get that smart moss and that sports moss, and you will get the same benefits of, I can't even say certain things anymore. This shit crazy. You won't be jittery, but you'll definitely be inspired and motivated. Yeah, you're not going to have the side effects, the negative side effects of what Adderall represents. Our products do not produce. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Testimonials have said and shown that people have had an amazing experiences with the product, right? Ask around. Don't take my word for it. Please do. Sports Moss is my personal. I mean, Smart Moss. Smart Moss, yeah. That's the crowd favorite. People who were older, had a health condition, or used ayahuasca regularly were more likely to experience the side effects. Seizures due to the drinks are also known and thought to reflect a spiritual phenomenon. But scientists warn they can pose very real health effects and say users should remain alert to the risks. I do not I'm not pushing against that to say that's not true. Yes, everybody should know the risks. Everybody should be informed and educated as to what plant medicine entails, whether they're mushrooms, whether it's DMT, whether it's ayahuasca, whether it's peyote, right? You should be very much informed and educated about this process, okay? To avoid you abusing it, which is where we're at right now in this community, right? People done ran with this shit and they have turned it into a drug. Okay, well, they said commentator Robert Griffin says the Green Bay Packers, they need Aaron to dig themselves out of this they need the best version of Aaron Rodgers, and right now the ayahuasca seems like it has him in a completely different world. Teammates also appeared to mock the happen in September this year when they pretended to take the drug while celebrating a touchdown win over the Chicago Bears, right? So now they just clowning. All right, somebody gave us an amazing testimonial. I got some smart moss and gold water for my nephew who was on Adderall, and he said it changed his life. Now, again, I cannot pay for these testimonials, right? But I also can't ignore them because they come so frequently. You feel me? That I'm left with no option other than to believe what's being said because I hear it so much. You feel me? I hear it so much. I've never taken Adderall, so I couldn't give you the comparison myself. You know what I mean? But I know about the hyper focus that I can get with smart moors. And a lot of my work is a testament, like doing 8-hour lectures and stuff like that, and still wanting to do more afterwards. Yeah, I was on that smart moors. You feel me? So, stress, anxiety, and depression, you know what I'm saying, at an all-time high. This is an interesting part of the puzzle that people may be ignoring, which can no longer be ignored. And it's a cultural phenomenon, what they call the Karens. The Karens is actually the underpinning aspect of the Karen is actually a medical condition, right? It's actually a medical condition. The curse of miserable older white women. It's called depression. It is an uptick in depression, in particular amongst white women, right? And let's see what's being said and how these create shifts in culture that we may be overlooking, and we do not understand the nuances of what a highly depressed white woman can do to society. The miserable older white woman emerges from the same blend of old school misogyny and ages mom isms that brought us the first wine mom and then the Karen in the summer of 2020. In theory, a Karen was a white woman who called the police on black people who were simply minding their own business. In practice, the term started getting used in reference to any woman over the age of 25 who has spoken up in any context. In the early pandemic days, I was once called Karen after asking some teenagers on public transport to put their mask on. They said 41% of Americans who use antidepressants are white females over the age of 45. Right? So if you want to know why there is a lack of pharmaceuticals to deal with antidepressants, the majority of the drugs are being used by white women to deal with their depression, right? Let me see. And this is going to be an issue, period, with the boomers, right? And we're not just going to see it amongst quote unquote white women. We're about to see it you know, as a population thing, period. Both progressives and the right seem to agree that liberal white women on antidepressants will be the end of our civilization, but the stereotypes allows a range of people to channel a variety of frustration. She's the 53% of white women who supposedly, but not actually voted for Donald Trump in 2016, but also the tear-strewn pussy hat wearer at the Women's March protesting that election's outcome. She can't even make her mind up. She voted for the nigga. And she's the same one protesting the fact that he got in. Right? For the left, the privileged lady wrangling a prescription for her non-problems can be blamed for all of society's woes: racism, imperialism, the housing shortage, the cost of living, climate change, perhaps even monkeypox. Her antidepressant usage can be categorized as yet another indulgence she engages in while other people suffer, akin to a day at the spa. Right? So her emoting, her dealing with depression, her being sexually frustrated, you know what I'm saying, is leading to societal breakdown, right? Because remember, she's over there stressing dude out. White women are spoiled pseudo victims. They are society's actually most powerful, but imagine themselves oppressed. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? White women are spoiled pseudo victims. They are society's actual most powerful, but imagine themselves oppressed. Does it all come back to Hillary Clinton? Hillary, per her haters, the privileged complainer. Hillary, the embodiment of the dorky, stoogey mom who does not know how to relax. Unlike other ways of medicating away bad moves, antidepressants have exactly zero reputation for being edgy or fun. Much like you know who, even Hillary supporters faulted her during the 2016 U.S. presidential campaign for not appearing to have a good time. So they're stiffs, they're stooges. They have the whole world at their fingertips, and they're always upset. You see them with this, you like just think about her lips, and that'll show you like that she got the crow's nest, and I'm sorry, I don't want to get graphic because I study a lot of stuff, right? So they had came across this research to show you women who are not getting none, and they have certain facial features. And because I didn't want to get into this context and just be talking crazy in your presence, so I was just making sure you was cool before I start getting into sex. We're in Scorpio season. Um, but yeah, they not getting none, right? And they super frustrated. So, and these is the boomers. These is the children who came from the sexual revolution. Yeah, when it looked like the chimp. I wish I had the picture I could pull up of they lips. They got the strings on it, and they just they not getting the huh salt lips. They all like they eating salt, licking salt off the edge of the margarita. Yeah, they got the salt lip look. Yeah, like something sour. They not getting none. Yeah, they not getting none, and they mad at y'all. You feel me? That's why they love Lizzo. Oh no, I'm not saying she. I'm saying they comfortable. If you black getting something looking like Lizzo, they like yeah. They don't feel threatened by that shit. They even want to watch. But Cardi B, yeah, they can't. That shit turns their stomach. They're like, she's having rich sex. Yeah, huh? Like the BBL teacher, the teacher that had the BBL, and all the moms wanted her fired. Oh, the teacher had the BBL. Yeah, and she had to. Yeah. Um. Look, one wonders whether miserable, older, miserable as all that, or just look miserable, or disproportionately prescribed antidepressants because their doctors, fallible humans like the rest of us, interpret their ordinary facial expressions as ones of distress. The medical establishment has made stupider mistakes. So what they're saying is that the doctors are prescribing, right, these witches an unsurmountable amount of drugs because their face looks miserable. Women, particularly housewives, have long been prescribed drugs at a much higher rate than men. One could look at this society throwing drugs at women to distract them from their situational misery so that they don't question the situation itself. But one might just as easily see this as a case of men not having access to proper mental health care, or indeed to the drugs that can be used relatively safely to make them less miserable. Are the men who snare at antidepressant using women just repulsed, or are they also perhaps envious? Do they wish that they could be like the women who, for somewhat stigma for being ahead? Man, this is serious, y'all. These women is out here on drugs, antidepressant drugs, looking like sourpusses. Every time you see them, they got this sour ass looking face. You feel me? They not getting them none, and they tight at you. Do they wish they could be like the women who face somewhat less stigma for going ahead and making an appointment with their general practitioner? Is the miserable older white woman's crime being miserable, or is it valuing herself enough to do something sensible about it? Ooh, wow. Yo, they having a conversation all to themselves, you know? But I can't say that. I can't say that. Because I'm sure that we are experiencing something in our society, in our community, that also is indicative to the fact that our people are suffering, you know what I'm saying, from depression as well. So let me be mindful. Having a vagina doesn't make me any less of a man. That's what a transgender man. Yeah, let me get off of this. Yeah, this is out of control. I'm sorry. Demisexuals are scared of sex. We in the last days of Scorpio. Let me get this out. Nah, that was a separate. No, I'm saying a demisexual is somebody that's afraid of it. All right, so I need you for this. Right, I need you for this. Your generation, you told me, were raised on hoe culture, right? Or became the progenitors of hoe culture because of how they was raised. We embraced it. Listen, y'all, parents, I don't know if you know how far gone we are. Let me explain something to you. Hopefully I don't get cut. They have created an entire category, right, for members of our society who say they don't wish to have sex with a person who they don't know. They would rather get to know the person. They created a whole category for them. They have unnormalized the normalcy of relationship because whole culture has taken over so much that the meaning of hooking up don't have nothing to do with you knowing the person or liking them. So they've created a term to return to where we started at, which was, yo, I want to get to know this person before I go and lay up in a whole, you know what I'm saying, vaginal orifice and expose myself to XYZ or whatever. Right? They've created a whole new term for people who want to slow roll up the box to demisexuals. Right? They like, you bitches are so confused. So, and to be clear, they said, all right, so demisexual is like, yo, it wasn't love on first sight. the flames wasn't flying immediately, because according to sociology, they're saying that the flames flying immediately means that you're supposed to give up the drawers immediately. That's where society has your children at, understanding because of the dating apps and everything else, right? The jump off culture. Y'all laughing. Okay. I'm confused. What you confused? What is it? Okay, so demisexuals say that you don't have a primary bond, right? You have a secondary bond. So what they call a secondary bond is that you spend time getting to know the person first, and then you grow to like them. Yeah, you grow to like them, and you're like, you know what? After all, this is somebody that I want to have sex with, right? But it's not immediate, because they are saying that the pheromonal response, you're supposed to know whether you want to fuck somebody in 5 seconds. And they expect you to do it in 24 hours. Granted, a lot of y'all do. And then get to know the nigga after the fact. So they have created a whole category to say, if you want to get to know this nigga first, and then secondarily say, you know what? I want to give him access to the box. You a demisexual. Look, they got a whole flag for this shit. Yeah, this is a designation. They got their own flag. They have their own flag. Demisexuality is a sexual orientation where the individual does not experience primary attraction, the type of attraction that is based on immediate observable characteristics such as appearance or smell. So they're talking about pheromones, and is experienced immediately after a first encounter. They only experience secondary sexual attraction, the type of attraction that happens after knowing someone for a while. This is a clinically.
Hold on. So if you decide not to take it to home base on the first date, then
On or about the first date, they have the society so confused.
I know that's
where they like, because the dating apps, Tinder and shit like that, you do a swipe, you see a person and go and fuck them. Hold on, this is going on. You don't know nothing about them. You don't feel no way about them. You had an immediate attraction based on you seeing them on an app, and now you're inside of their universe.
It's
okay?
Funny because you don't think about shit like that because it just been so.
When I was growing up, yeah, we call that a jump off.
Yeah, like the fuck.
Or FDR, first day rip. Yeah, nigga.
We just call it hoe shit.
Hoe shit.
Like, it's either, yeah, bitch, I got this some hoe shit, so what? It was good or it wasn't good. Move along.
Yeah.
And I might not do it with the next nigga after that. I might, like, it might not be my character in particular to, you know, every time I see somebody that I like, I'm just gonna fuck them because I feel like fucking them. I can do that or I don't do that, but that's all up to me. That's my discretion of how I feel that day.
Okay.
But 9 times out of 10, for the most part, be like, shit, I don't know you like that, nigga.
You don't know him like that to do what? You don't know him like that to give some pussy, but you don't know him like that to do what? Let you in my house. Give you the keys to my car.
I'm saying
give you some money. No, I'm just saying.
No, I agree.
I don't know you like that, nigga.
Yeah, no,
but they let the nigga hit.
Yeah. That's the reality.
Nigga crawled up in their universe, right?
That's the reality, especially back home where we come from.
With no plastic.
Right now.
Yeah.
One of the biggest issues are that bitches are becoming. Oh, I'm sorry for saying bitches now. That's just a part of my vocabulary. Women are having babies with guys they do not know. Like the saying is, girls from New York gonna have a baby first and get to know their baby father afterwards. Cause that's what's going on. Y'all just sleeping with people, which is cool. It's your body, you do what you want to do. Then you end up pregnant, and then you realize this nigga ain't shit or this bitch ain't shit. And it's like, what was your thought process in the first place?
Like right?
For me, before you go.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, my, you know, because sex and shit like that was still very taboo. But my mother used to always tell me.
In your household, you mean?
No, period. I mean, obviously, people.
Sex was taboo in your neighborhood,
I'm
in your
saying
hood,
in the
your
sense
community.
of people was having sex, yes, especially children. We were fucking, but that wasn't something that how it is now. Oh, you know them kids is fucking. Nobody was talking like that. They were still trying to keep you away from the shit. That's what I mean by it was taboo.
Right.
Certain shit they were still reprimanding you for when I was growing up.
They said it's not only in New York, girl.
I'm speaking for my hometown.
She's speaking for her hood.
I'm speaking for my hood. But like I'm saying, my mom would always tell me, you do something because you want to do it. You don't do it because nobody's making you feel like you have to do it. You don't do it because you feel like it's something you got to do to be cool. If that's something you want to do, that's the decision.
That's your own decision,
and
right?
You have to live with those, choices.
But is mom taking into account the signaling that's coming from society, the nuances, the suggestions?
Yeah, my mother was
right?
not a dumb woman, and she was very eclectic. She was into a little bit of everything, and she never hid me. She never hid anything from me. If I asked any question, my mother would not lie. It didn't matter how old I was. She would just tell me the truth. And if it came to something like that, she would say, it's something I don't think that you're ready for right now.
Right.
But I'm going to explain to you, this is what that is. And if you decide that you want to do it, let that be your decision.
Right. So, got it.
I feel like I was going to say something else.
Just when it comes up, let me know. The amount of time that a demisexual individual needs to know another person before developing sexual attraction towards them varies from person to person. It is generally categorized on the asexuality spectrum. God damn, yo. They like, you don't even gotta know. Yo, they redefining the whole shit. You know what I'm saying? If you take time to get to know this person, you may be asexual. Right? But look, let's look at the flip side. Let's go to Germany. Right? Germany, Europe's bordello. They saying there is 1.5, 1.2 million men by sex every day in Germany where all forms of prostitution is legalized. Did y'all know that? Germany is known as the bordello of Europe. Now we're talking about the germ man. Let's be clear. We're talking about the germ man, and we're talking about if you was to do, let's go back to how White Lives Matter, right? If you do a Google search to say, what population of European is the largest amount here in the Americas, in the United States? The largest ethnic European group here is the German. Google it. It's not the WASP. It's not the Jew. It's the German. So I just wanted to make that point, of which Donald Trump is of that stock. And I could go through a whole list, right, of quote unquote Caucasian folk in this country of German descent. Right? The British royals of German descent, they're Bavarian. Right? It is a hard-won title with more than 3,000 brothels across the country and 500 in Berlin alone. Its sex trade is worth more than 11 billion a year in pounds. Right? Prostitution in all of its forms is legal in Germany and has been since the end of the Second World War. Now, that's interesting, right? So the Nazis were fighting for ethnic cleansing. And ethnic cleansing kind of speaks to some level of some degree of racial purity. How you gonna go for fighting for racial purity, or were they punishing the German to say, oh, we're gonna make your women prostitutes? Because how can you what? Racial purity is that you are going to protect these women. All of these national neo-Nazi organizations, from the 14 letter to even the Proud Boys, right? All of them are dealing with a level of racial purity where they have to protect the sanctity of the wombs of their women. You can buy gold or silver at Wadata, 878 Ralph David Abernathy in the West End, or you can also buy it at the Zen Bar in Atlanta, which I believe is 55 Lowry. What's the dude Lowry's name? Joseph E. Lowry. Zinball, right? Germany's industrialized prostitution is horrific, according to those who have survived it. The laws there give license to pimps. They are referenced as businessmen and managers as they buy and sell desperate women. Cologne opened the world's first drive-through brothel in 2001, and since then, more followed. There are mega brothels in cities such as Munich and Berlin, which can accommodate around 650 punters at one time, offering an early bird deal of a burger, beer, and sex. At quiet time, some brothels offer 2 for the price of 1 deals and happy hours with discounted rates. And y'all niggas is worried about Iran. Okay? All your priorities is in the wrong place with all of this motherfucking feminine liberalism, liberation that you want to. And when I'm saying you, of course, I'm talking about the Western powers and you niggas who signed up for his military. Y'all want to run around the planet liberating women and shit. Go to Germany, nigga. Men who pay for sex in Germany and what they teach us about the failure of legal prostitution was built on data from 96 German sex buyers, and it validates much of what sex trade survivors and legal scholars have been telling the world for decades. The men aged between 18 and 89 were a generally diverse group ranging from the unemployed of men in unskilled low-income jobs through to high-end professionals. The punters, they call them punters. The punters provided candid information about their attitudes, behaviors, and motivations. So, also in so many words, they're saying that rape is legalized in this institution because these men are raping these women wholesale. All of their complaints fall on deaf ears because they are prostitutes. They are sex workers, right? So any and everything goes in these institutions, and they're ravishing them. Let me show you what they said. They said to them, prostituted women are unrapeable, and that if they can't have sex with who they want, when they want, how they want, they will be compelled to, as one man said, rape a real woman. So not only is rape legal because of the prostitution in Germany, they insist on it because they say our failure to rape these bitches is going to make us go and rape these real quote unquote women who are not on the brothel on the whole stroke. 3/4 of the interview was held this attitude. 3/4. What is that? 3/4. So out of 100%, that's 75% of the men that they interviewed said that. As one said, prostitution is good for society because men have an excessive sex drive and men can take it out on them without attacking other women or attacking children. This is the world that you live in. And this shit is right down the block from Rome. Once again, where's Christianity in Europe? Right? But they want to bring moralism and all of that bullshit around the rest of the planet and kill people at the stake to bring a false sense of what they consider to be moralism. But these people is right in their backyard. This is Germany. Yeah, you try telling them that these women is still people. You don't understand the German, right? You don't understand the German. Go back and research the German. Research how he was. Because I told you, you could tell everything that you need to know about a person by what? How they go to war and how their propensity for sex. How they sexually engage is going to tell you everything, even about how they go to war. Your partner's German? You know? You know? You know?
Grandfather that I was telling you about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
His father
His father was German.
German and with the Jew.
Look, they said, right, another reporter, when they didn't pay the pimp enough, they had their something pulled off, or they beat the woman to a pulp. The women were scared and never said anything. The sex buyers show little to no empathy towards the women. It's like having a cup of coffee. When you're done, you throw it out, said one. It's like renting an organ for 10 minutes, said another. There is no shame attached to being a John in Germany, which is a large part of the problem. Legalization is supposed to reduce trafficking, violence, and the underground sex trade. But as the report highlights, the opposite has happened, with the legal activities burgeoning alongside the legal ones. Right? This is why when niggas go on tour, this is why when niggas go to Europe, they be like, bro, you don't have no idea what these white women was into. Right? Borderline bestiality. They like put a foot in it. Hmm? Tip. I'm not yet. Let me, because I know 3 of his victims. Three of them. 3 of them. Raped. Feel me? So that's not funny. 3. So, yes, with these concepts, you know, this is what the world, when they talk about liberalism, when they talk about wokeism, you know, this is kind of like what they talking about. Like, yo, this is the party that supports this. Right. They say that there's not enough therapists right now in the U.S. to deal with the amount of people that have depression. Right. They don't have enough personnel to deal with the uptick of people who are looking for therapies dealing with depression. I said during 2020, I said there's going to be an uptick in stress, anxiety, and depression because of C-19. But in particular, the grown folk is one thing. You need to look at the children, and nobody focused on the children. If you know any teachers in the public school system, right, ask them what it is that they're going through in these classrooms with these children after C-19, dealing with stress, anxiety, or depression. Has there been an uptick? Right? Though millions of Americans, okay, the high demands for therapy is ongoing in the U.S. It was already before C-19. It was already off the charts. Now they're saying it's been exasperated by the pandemic. Though millions of Americans have returned to normal life, many people feel far from normal. A majority of the psychologists surveyed said that since the start of the pandemic, they've seen an uptick in patients who are dealing with anxiety, depression, and trauma, and that the demand for services continues to remain high, right? So just like we were making an observation about the sex industry, just like we're making an observation about Karens, right? It's the same observation that we're making of the depression, and then we're going to go to ayahuasca. All of this ties together because ayahuasca is what? a plant-based medicine that could deal with stress, anxiety, and depression, right? Just not in a westernized format, which is totally different because people is only used to popping pills, right? And they like, no, nigga, you got to sit down, right? You got to sit down. You got to be patient. You know, it's not the same thing as Western medicine, right? Or Westerners ever going to be able to actually divorce themselves from Westernism long enough to get Eastern-based medicines? So you know, because you got two hemispheres in your brain, in your body, you have to unify them. So what you need, and it's not just Western based. They have us experiencing one aspect of ourselves, right? They said things are not improving for practitioners or their patients. Parker Hilton, a licensed professional counselor in Red Bank, New Jersey, told the Washington Post that he recently started from scratch and launched his own private practice in the beginning of October. 6 weeks in, he's already fully booked, meeting up with 35 patients per week. Hilton said he's seeing more people who are asking big why questions and existential conversations about meaning and purpose of life. So we're also experiencing the mass awakening. We are experiencing the mass reset. And once again, just like ayahuasca was saying about Westerners, they are violently being woken up from the matrix and they're skitzing out. Remember when Neo woke up, right? Remember when he woke up and he had to rip the tubes out? He woke up in a placenta, right? That's what's going on. Things of that nature, right? People are violently being jolted back to a version of reality that they're being introduced mid-travel. What is mid-travel? You 30, 40, 50 years old. You got grandchildren. You got children. You know what I'm saying? You've been on the job for 15 to 20 years. You waiting for that 401k to kick in. And then this shit happens. And then your life is turned upside down and you're being told that everything that you've been participating in is a lie. And that there's so much more out there for you. Now you wanna know, you wanna find out. People need somebody to speak to. Big time. They need therapy. They need therapists. This, for me, is a form of my therapy. If I didn't have this, I don't know how mentally sound I would be. Right? Because I just can't be talking. I would talk a hole into this lady's head over here. She said no. She said no. She said she got time.
I always got time for you, fool. To listen to you on. Oh, God.
All right. So we good. Said I'm turning a lot of people away and it's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking, Duncan said. I think a lot of therapists are just really over. They're maxed out. She said anxiety issues, particularly amongst young people, are common. The young women I am seeing, I am just blown away with the anxiety, Duncan said, right? It's this physical manifestation of anxiety, which I hadn't seen to this extent before, right? So it's some things going on out here, not me just saying it. You feel me? We're able to bear witness. So last week we passed a pinnacle milestone, 8 billion people on the planet, right? But now it's at a pause because of population decline, right? Because of population decline, this is about as good as it's gonna get, especially in the Western dynamic. The only place that population is still increasing is in 5 countries on the continent of Africa. They're the only ones on the planet that are expected to have a positive birth rate going forward. And with categorizations and delineations like demisexual and shit like that, and all of these categories that we have in society. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Debauchery is the norm, and common sense is a special.
The debauchery is now the norm. Who wants to have children in that environment, knowing that we still working what we working through today because of these children that were born out of debauchery in the last 2 generations, right? So I don't have the end all, be all. I don't have all the answers, but I do know that we have product that helps. That's as much as I can do at this particular point. Do these lives, talk to people whenever I see them, be available, work on my own mental health, because you got to be, you know, you Chiron, you the wounded healer, nigga. You have to heal yourself before you out here, because hurt people can only hurt people. There's no way around that. There's no way around that. So wounded healers, you got to go and do the healing. You got to do revolutionary healing to counter this shit. So, right? Again, there's an Adderall shortage. All right? There's not a smart moss shortage, right? Even though it's our best selling product, we have it. So goldwater.com, GOLDEWATER. See, we already knew that we was black Jews. Named our company Goldwater.
Golden sex.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there for you. You know, put the E in it. It's Jewish. Yeah, Goldwater. Goldwater.com. Get that smart moss. I would even say get that vitamin C. That sea moss is called.
Yeah.
Definitely the gold. You know, all of these things are to reset and help neurological dysfunctions. You know, because a lot of the stress, anxiety, and depression is coming from mineral deficiencies as well. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. Mm, 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 mm. Now, he said now more than ever, we have a population that is not producing like it used to. So we have to welcome in the immigrants and the dreamers because we're going to be at a deficit if we continue entertaining these niggas. Y'all can't hear me either. Can y'all hear me? No? No sound. Ooh. Oh. Okay. So he said now more than ever, the only way that we're gonna have a great future in America, right, is we have to bring in an immigrant population because he said the people that we have here are not reproducing like they used to, right? So he said, look, in so many words, these niggas is not fucking like they used to. They're not giving us future Democrats. So we have to bring in an immigrant population. Okay. I mean, in so many words, that's what they said. This is what the Democrats, Charles Schumer, Chuck. This is what Chuck just said. I'm gonna save you. I'm just giving you the real quick interpretation of what he said, almost verbatim. right? They said that they have to entertain bringing in an immigrant population because niggas ain't cutting it no more. And they not doing demisexuals and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, look, man, we gotta bring in these Mexicans because they fucking, these Ecuadorians, they fucking.
So what happened?
All these populations, that Latina X population, he said they populating. But you niggas, y'all too busy killing each other. The morgues is full of you. And there is as we was told yesterday, an increase, especially here in the state of Georgia, insurmountable amount of melanated women who are not coming out of the hospital after childbirth. They're giving birth, but they're dying at alarming rates. Nobody's talking about these statistics. Yeah, we're not reproducing. We're not reproducing. And there's a large contingency of the population that don't want to reproduce. The young women, I don't know what word they have for that, because it's not asexual because they're cutting. They just don't want to have children. I'm sure that there's a term for that. I just don't know it at this moment.
I don't even blame them.
Right.
What word
But
do you
just last week, they said that we was overpopulated and they had to stop population production with eugenics because the resources can't match the people. But now they complaining because we're not, quote unquote, reproducing at the rate that politics need new voters, right? And the fact that we are no longer populating the planet at that particular rate means that, right, if fertility rates are dropping and there's 8 billion people on the planet, then we're headed towards a disaster that outpaces what we just went through with the baby boomers. And what did that look like? The baby boomer population got so crazy that they could not afford Social Security. They could not afford all of the things that they promised, right? The boomers. So they got rid of them during C-19. Did y'all miss that? Is everybody kind of like, did that go over your head? Did they decrease the elder population during the pandemic so they didn't have to pay them? Yeah. So now we got this whole culture, right, where everybody's popping Plan Bs like they Skittles, right? Forget the 26 million amount of abortions, right? Now they going straight to the Plan Bs, right? And smashing and splashing.
I think all of that is just an after effect or end result of the insecurity that we feel as a race. This is all of the stuff that, you know, we going through and we're noticing that's alarming is a result of our insecurities. Like I said, my generation that grew up embracing the whole culture was more so of that feeling of I don't want to feel like, because we see how y'all operated with one another. If a woman was on some whole shit with a nigga, it looked very regretful. You ain't want to be that bitch. But how do you protect yourself against certain shit? Because niggas is gonna lie and say whatever they want to say to get theirs, and you may feel like, damn, I don't know when a nigga telling me the truth or lying, instead of me like really trying to go through all that emotional stress.
Yeah.
Let me just, if I want to fuck you, I'm just gonna fuck you. I don't even care.
Just rather hoe,
right? You. I'd rather not even care about you, so I don't have to deal with all of that
extra shit, right?
Shit.
Yeah.
And I, in my opinion, I feel like the anxiety, the depression, is a consequence or end result of that feeling of not wanting to take risks and not experience nothing for yourself. Because we watching the videos, we vicariously living through videos, music, reality TV, social media now. It's like everything we do, we get to watch somebody do it first so that we know how it'll play out for us.
Right.
But it's not until you actually do it that you know if it works for you.
So you're getting the signals. So there is a level of programming because you're receiving the signals from the signals from media.
Right, and it's safer because I could see how that's gonna turn out for me instead of me, just
freestyling.
I could potentially end up fucked up. and then that'll be on me, and I don't want to have to deal with that. And it's the same thing I see with, like you said, the women going through this depression. Some of them, they say, okay, if I get the money, the degrees, and the job, and they have all of that, and you like, I can't imagine why you depressed. But a lot of them are not happy, and they're afraid of like going after their own happiness. Because what if I do that and I lose my security, and I'm gonna feel stupid? So now I'm stuck in a conflicting place, and I need somebody to tell me what to do in my own life, and that's real shit.
Damn, that's where we at.
That's where we at, in my opinion, from what I see. Because I look at things more so foundational as opposed to the specifics of every situation, because there's so many nuances. But what I do see commonly a lot is people who have achieved the American dream and they're not happy with it. And they felt like, I'm supposed to be happy with this, but I'm not. And I don't know what else to do. What I really want to do, I'm scared that that shit is not going to do shit for me materially. And I don't want to risk losing everything.
The security, right? So women have been forced, and men, but for the most part, right? If we look at women who have, they said, stepped into these non-traditional roles, right? And succeeded, right? Got the degrees, got the six-figure paying job, got the crib, got the cars, got all of the things that society tells you is material trappings. And then they set up this dichotomy where it's saying, oh, women equality, right? And we were just speaking about this the other day. Like, a woman is equal to a man if she makes as much or if she has the same purchasing power. But the equality is the illusion, right? Because man, we're not equal. Like I don't carry a baby for 9 months. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what childbirth is about. I don't understand necessarily, you feel me? All of the things that a woman's body has to go through with a child, rearing a child, you know, that attachment that the child has to a woman, you know, we're not equal, right? We're not equal. So she's attempting to do things and framing her reference on the things that she's doing after a man. That within itself is off, right? And then again, she has the things that Americana has set up to say, you know, these are the goals. This is where you have to get to. This is the pinnacle of success. And she's acquired all of the materials, and boom, she doesn't feel complete. She's not happy. She's not validated in herself necessarily, because she like, this ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? And then she looking down the block, and the nigga, he's under the cars, he's a mechanic and shit, and she might even like this dude. But because of these societal norms, she don't even know how to approach that situation, because now they got her feeling like, oh, that dude is not part of your social strata, right? Or she might want to go to the jungles and take some ayahuasca and have a spiritual, you know, situation. But she like, shit, what if I lose my material, you know, trappings? What if I lose my security?
What if you absolutely hate everything about your situation, even though say you got a great job, you live in a great place, everything is. If somebody saw you from social media, they think you have it laid out.
Yes.
But you miserable as fuck. You don't like going to work.
Right.
You actually just want to drop everything and start all over.
Yeah.
But you feel like you can't, because what if that shit don't work out the same way?
Yeah.
And so you never take, first of all, this goes back to the other conversation we was having about accountability. I don't want to have that type of accountability and responsibility over my life, knowing that I had it good, I didn't appreciate it, or I didn't like it enough, and I took the risk, and it went sour. And that's normally the mentality. But no one ever really talks about taking the risk, and it turning out better than you expected it, you know?
Right. So
it goes beyond just relationships, because that's why I say this is a man and woman dynamic. It's more so of everything that we have been sold upon that would give us status, that would give us comfort and security. When we acquire it, a lot of them is, like I said, and now they got the money to go to therapy because they fucked up. You're not following your heart. You're not following your dreams. You're moving off of desperation and fear.
So people are being trapped in their lives with the things that they want to do, but they're trapped because of the things that they have to do to keep up, the pace of the lie. Because it's like a conveyor belt, and when you start, you got to keep up.
You gotta keep up.
It's a race.
And it's hard to be on that. I could see it being harder to follow your dreams when it may look stupid if you do that. It may look really stupid. You got a great job, you got security, benefits, all of that shit. And you want to just drop this shit and travel the world right now, but you like, damn, what I'm going to do when I come home, where I'm going to live. I don't want to give up this good situation.
Those questions, right? Those questions.
Meanwhile, your boss is doing it.
But I think this is what they was talking about with the therapists and the people who are coming for therapy due to depression. They have all of these existential questions about life, so they're questioning everything. So professionals are questioning everything because, again, during C-19, people's worlds got turned upside down, and the things that we once held dear for our priorities, the things that we prioritize in our lives and our communities, you know what I'm saying? Those things lost their steam, right? So when your why changes, how do you pivot when your why changes, right? And what's your why? Everybody's motivating factor should, I should be able to ask you, well, why are you doing this? Well, why do you work? Why are you married to him? You know what I'm saying? Why do you, why is this your aim and your focus? Why do you vote Democrat? Why are you a Christian? Why are you a vegan? Right? Your whys. So when somebody's why, because your why is looked at as your GPS, as your navigational compass. You know what I'm saying? The things that we do, whether we do them consciously or subconsciously, is said to be led by our whys. So when your why change, how do you pivot that change within yourself? You feel me? And you mentally or subconsciously or consciously changing your why, if your head changes and your feet don't follow up to it, are you gonna ultimately run into a disaster? Are you a disaster waiting to happen? You feel me? And that remains to be seen, because I'm sure that there's not a generalized answer for that. You know what I mean? These are the tests that I guess we've all signed up to now in life, and how we end up on the other side of things is not going to be the same for everyone. I'm going through something like that in terms of like just really reflecting and looking at life and what else can we do with I want to be a father. And that requires a lot of planning, prepping, intention. Just yeah, man. Life, I can only imagine. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's like the old, like you've been talking about the old construct is falling apart, and people are able to see it for what it is and see themselves for what they are. And some people are uncomfortable and unhappy, but it's okay. I believe that's part of the transformation process. You gotta see it to know where you're gonna go from here. But ultimately, I think that we have to get out of the habit of allowing other people to make our decisions, and other people to determine what our whys are.
Yeah. So this goes back to this conversation about self-determination, right? And your ability to account for your actions, your ability to identify yourself as you choose, right? And that deals with your nationality, your ethnicity, your story, your origin story, right? You have every right to self-determination, because nobody else who don't know you, who don't care about you, should be responsible for telling you where you're going in life, or what your contribution should be, or what your values or worths are. Those are things that you have to develop yourself. Those are things that you got to sit with yourself, give yourself enough time to come to conclusions. You feel me? That can't nobody else mislead you, or point you in a misdirection, because now you are preparing yourself to play the victim at some point in life. You have to take control. You have to take responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You have to be the authority figure in your life. You know what I'm saying? You have to allow yourself to lead. You know, how do you get there necessarily? I can't, everything is not going to be the same level of recommendation for any and all people. It goes back to saying, oh, but you got to know yourself. Well, how do you do that? Where do you start? Mm.
And then your birthday, what's your favorite color, your favorite animal, your favorite food, why? That's how I started.
Say it again. Say it again. I didn't probably hear you. Cause
I would look up my name, see what my names meant.
yeah,
My birthday.
Yeah, that's what I started too. Yeah.
What my favorite number was. I had a favorite number since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
And I'm like, shit, why did I like that number so much?
Right.
I started with that. Just simple shit. My favorite color, what that color represents, things I like to eat, what that represented, what that's attached to, and then you just follow your spirit. And when I say spirit, it's like you just follow
That inner inclination,
that
right?
something that told you to
Yeah, that inner inclination, that inner compass is gonna direct you certain places, and if you follow through and it leads to something that's beneficial, then you develop a relationship with that inner voice and that inner navigation, and you be like, what's next? And then you just gotta follow through, follow spirit. You know what I mean? But if you follow in man, you have to be able to discern whether that's something that the cosmos put in place, to direct you somewhere where you need to go, or whether it's misdirection. I too started with wanting to know myself. I started with numbers, my birthday. I would always add up 11, 14 and get 25. And then I would add 2 and 5 and get 7. So before I had ran into any 5% of ideology, I was telling my brother that we were God. I was like, I'm God and you God. And then later on in life, when I find out that the pillars equal 77, I'm like, well, I'm a 7 and he's a 7. And we the pillars. As simple as that. So what did I come here to do? I came here to be foundational. I came here to be, not necessarily a gatekeeper. We just represent a gate. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a gatekeeper. You know, but if somebody don't deserve to go through the threshold, it's like, nah, nigga, chill. I guess if that's what they call a gatekeeper, I don't know.
But it's more so.
It's
more so representative.
The pillars, yeah. So
yeah. You from X, Y, and Z. This is just the end. You're like a physical manifestation of the energy that you.
Yeah, and then right later on, I learned life path numbers, destiny life path, and mine was 11. Right, so I was like, oh, that's the pillars too, but I'm a twin. So then I had to delve into. So I reduced 11 to 2, and 2 was about cooperation. I noticed that I really didn't do too many things by myself, especially in business. I always had partners. So I was like, okay, cooperation. I'm a twin. I get that. Boom. Then I started going, deeper into say, all right, well, what does this number mean? And I started researching the number, and then that started bringing me to shapes. Then I started getting into platonic solids, which are the 5 essential shapes. Then I started getting into geometry, and then shit, it just opens up a rabbit hole. Then I started studying my charts, when I got into that, but it all kind of, like you said, probably started with numbers, right? and my personal self inquiry into who I am and what my purpose is and why I'm here started at a young age, but it started simple with numbers. I was adding up my birthday, looking for meaning in my life. And then I delved into my name. You know what I'm saying? And I added my name up. Or I started doing research on my name. And when I started researching Paul, it opened up a paradigm. And then I was forced to do research into scripture and the Bible because I couldn't get around it. And I was like, oh, look at these similarities. Paul started his mission in 44 AD. That's deep. That was too deep for me. I went to Galatians 4:4. I went to a bunch of different scriptures in the Bible that was prescribed to Paul. They had the 44 code in it. And I was like, God damn. Yeah, and then later in life, I started getting access to more advanced research and studies. I met a lady named Dorothy Muhammad from the Nation of Islam. Shout out to her. Maybe in like 2011. And she does something called nameology. So she broke down me and Red's name. So that gave me a whole nother subset of numbers to go and research. Right? Probably met Lloyd Strayhorn on or around that time. And he was a numerology expert. So I was able to delve into deeper aspects of numbers dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? And then, around 2009, I get introduced to gematria and Kabbalah. Now I'm dealing with a whole nother esoteric set of delving deeply into numbers. Then I ran into a human design practitioner who put me onto that. And that exposed me to a whole nother array of numbers and the way to understand. But I had already been introduced to Kabbalah and the tree of life. So now I'm able to make references. I'm like, all right, this feel like the tree, and the tree has different channels and separates. So they show you how energy moves to manifest itself in the physical plane. So I'm looking at human design, in the same way. And the things that you read about yourself, if they consist with the things that you know about yourself, you know what I'm saying? Then that gives you more wherewithal to go a little bit deep. I'm a projector. In human design, I'm a projector. Yes. And I work best with manifesting generators. Maybe she just happens to be one. You know what I'm saying? You would think the universe set this up. Yeah, human design helped me really burst through. You know what I'm saying? But then there's more to learn. There's so much unraveling. A brother told me yesterday that we have millions of years of history in our veins alone, just based on how long man has been here on this planet incarnating. And the fact that I'm here today, the fact that you're here today, right? And anybody else listening, you are all testaments to a survival record that goes back to whenever the beginning of time was. Hence the fact that you're still here, or you wouldn't be here. You are the proof of the continuity of our human species up until this point. And you have all of that material, genetic material in you. So I refuse to allow you to be anything other than what you are, which is a testament to greatness, which is a testament to survival, which is a testament to fortitude. You know what I'm saying? And I could care less about what happened before you got here. Even in your bloodline, you are capable, you are worthy, you feel me? And you are in proximity to a period in time where your potential, you could get anything done in a minute. The minute, the second provides every one of us with the same amount of potentiality to do some miraculous shit. Right? We should not forge excuses for our averageness, our regularness. Like, that ain't who you are. And the fact that you're here means that you're a testament to some people who figured some shit out and got some things done. Stop being so hard on yourself in your ancestral line. Give yourself a hug. Forgive them for any shortcomings or inequities. You know what I'm saying? Pull your fucking pants up and get busy, y'all. Point blank, period. Stop making excuses for yourself, right? We don't have nothing to cry or complain about. Yeah, things have been done to us, but we here today. We standing strong. You know what I'm saying? We got the opportunity to get things right. And and they say in quantum science and in the field of quantum physics, the past and the present and the future operate simultaneously. So you could get some things right now, right? Being self-determined, you could get some things right now and correct shit in your bloodline that was fucked up centuries ago, lifetimes ago. You can do that. Give yourself permission. Allow yourself to be great. You know what I'm saying? And then people, you know, the world got to deal with you different when you make these proclamations and you standing on what you need to stand on. Grab your testes. If you women, you know, cover your eggs, put your hand on your stomach. You know what I'm saying? And be like, yeah, I'm here. You feel me? I don't, you know, I don't care if it wasn't a straight line to get here. You know, like, I've driven this shit. Some people know how to park real cute. You know what I'm saying? They be like, skirt. And other people, they hit another car and hit up here. And yeah, but did you get the whip in the parking space? Don't matter if it wasn't, you know, the cleanest parking record or what have you. Did you get it in there? Right? So it's the same thing. Like, yeah, did you're here. It may have been a rough road to get here. You might even have some dents. You might even have a fender bender issue. You know what I'm saying? Your brake light might be out. But you're here. But you're here and you're tasked with making the best of that. You know what I'm saying? You're tasked with making the best of that, you know? And this world can be so uneasy and unforgiving, and it could come across and appear to be unfair. You know what I'm saying? It could appear to be unfair. But you got life, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You got life, and life brings with it an insurmountable amount of opportunity. Feel me? It brings with it an insurmountable amount of opportunity. There's days that I wake up more depressed than others, meaning other days. And then then I sit with myself and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Right? You sit with yourself, right? You are a tripartite individual. And the only thing that means is that there's three aspects of you. So you could talk to yourself without being considered clinically crazy, right? Because the therapist is filled up. So there's really nobody for you to go to. Sit with yourself. Sit in the mirror. Talk to yourself. Right? Ask yourself, what the fuck is going on? I be having to give myself big homie checkups all the time. Right? And I'm the hardest person with myself. I'm not gonna allow me to go outside and give somebody else the gratification to do it. I'm gonna get it done myself. Nigga, what the fuck is going on with you? You feel me? Tighten this shit up, man. I have real conversations with myself in private. As you should too. But can nobody check you like you could check yourself? You know what I'm saying? You can step outside of your present situation and circumstance and talk to that motherfucker who need to get his act together. Talk to him like he deserves to be talked to. And then jump back into that dynamic and get it done. But if you got to separate from yourself long enough to look at yourself and tell yourself, I'm not happy with where we're at right now, what we're doing, or this level of depression that you've allowed yourself to fall into, snap up out of it. You got life, you got breath in your lungs. You have an opportunity to make shit different today. And that's probably what you need to hear. I'm not going to judge you, right? And it's not the end of the world. And we can get this shit together, right? You know, piece by piece. Piece by piece. But you can do it. You know who can't do it? The motherfuckers that's in the morgue right now. The ones that's in the grave, for whatever reason, the ones that was not able to be here today, you know what I'm saying? Breathing like we breathing and receiving this message. So as long as you got some breath in your lungs, you feel me? And you have the ability to forgive yourself and allow yourself to be great and get the fuck out the way, then you got what it takes, right? And sky's the limit for you. And there's no telling what you're capable of because everything's off the table right now. There's no predictables. There's nothing that says, yo, if you've done this together, you've done this right for so many X, Y, and Z's, this is guaranteed. None of that is happening right now, right? There's nothing even saying, yo, if you've been the most positive person, you're guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. None of that is happening, right? These are unpredictable variables that are controlling our everyday existence right now. So the only thing that you can do is stand and deliver. That's it. That's the only thing that you can do. You can only guarantee, yo, I gave it my all. You feel me? Fuck it. And let the chips fall where they may. I gave it my all, though. You know? So as long as you're squeezing your sponge out and you're leaving nothing left, right? Then you have fulfilled your duty and your mandate. And you should be able to give yourself a hug, you know what I'm saying? And tell you that you love you. You feel me? Fuck your haters. You know what I'm saying? And allow yourself the amount of time that's needed so you can grow. You know what I mean? So you can grow into whatever mental ideal that you have is for you to say, damn, you know, I get where I'm at right now, but this is where I want to be. Set a goal for yourself, you know, set a vision for yourself. Be aspirational, right? For you're not gonna wake up as somebody else. I don't care how many BBLs they got out there. I don't care what sort of surgery that they tell you. You're not gonna. I don't care what you see Bad Bunny doing. Oh no, it's not. It's not Bad Bunny. What's her name? Bad Baddie. Yeah. Catch Me Outside. I don't care what you see people out here doing. Right? You're not gonna wake up as somebody else tomorrow or any other day. You got to live with you. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, you gotta grow you a pair and say, fuck it. Right? It's what I got. I'm riding till the wheels fall off. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? And not being disrespectful to nobody else on this planet. But, you know, stand on your square, stand in your space, you know, and own that place. Own it. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody else occupy it but you. Treat it as such. Feel me? But I love y'all. You know, and I want the best for us as a people. I want the best for myself. You know what I'm saying? But I know that comes with work. It's just not gonna be me wishing it on myself. I gotta still put in work. Even with all of the work that I put in, I still got a whole lifelong of work left in front of me. You know, so I expect nothing different from you for yourself. So we can celebrate. You know what I'm saying? I can celebrate you. I can celebrate myself. We can celebrate everything that we have going on as an amazing people who have rose through the trials and the tribulations and ended up triumphant. You know what I'm saying? Because we are in the test of a lifetime right now. You know, and you you should show up. What else do we have to do? What else are our options other than showing up? You feel me? Leave yourself no option. Put your back against the wall and come out swinging. So for the Charlotte family, a week from now, strong from now, it'll be Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving or however we want to flip it. But we'll be in Charlotte. So that's gonna set off a 4-day strong in that we got going on out there. The link is in the bio. And yeah, tap in, pull up on us. So, once again, we can have that family connection, that dialogue, and you know, we could share some space, share some energy, share some stories, eat some food, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we're not celebrating holidays, we're celebrating one another. We're celebrating the potentiality of what this information could ultimately do to us and for us, right? We're celebrating the idea of community, you know what I'm saying? We're allowing ourselves to, be great and do things that are outside of what's considered, folk traditions here in this country. We're doing things on our own terms, creating our own terms, creating our own themes, and making it do what it do. But it has to start somewhere. So this is where we're starting at. All right. And yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all in the Carolinas. Tap in. If you're pulling up this strong in to revolutionary healing, where it's gonna get started, I look forward to seeing you as well. All right. And with that, y'all, I want to say peace.